How's your day going? Let me do shakara for you people. Lagos. Yes, it's because today's conversation is really going to be exciting, and I am excited. I hope you are too. We are always, anyways, on Power Solutions. So, Power Solutions is powered by All On Energy Impact Investment Company with support from your number one talk station, Nigeria Info. Yes, correct. All right. For those who listen to us every Monday, you know how we do it. Ready to call me and let's talk about or join conversation as we go on. Be ready. A lot is happening, and I'm excited about today's conversation because our topic is funding early stage startups in renewables. So if you run a business that is within the clean energy sector, or if you run a solar business, if you run any business at all within renewable energy, you should grab your seat, you should turn on the volume of your radio set because today's conversation is for you. Yes. We're talking about funding early stage startups. What does it mean? We want to solve the power problems, we want to solve all the power issues in the country, and we have these startups that are working tirelessly with these innovative solutions to see how they can help us solve some of these power problems in the country. But one of their biggest challenge is funding. So how do we fund some of these startups? Where do we get the money from? Some of them have brilliant ideas, and we've met a lot of them on this show. And I believe you me, sometimes I'm amazed at the innovation. First of all, I'm amazed. So today I have my guests in the studio who will be helping us talk about some of this and what is happening within the space and how they have been funding, early stage startups in the country. And I mean, grab it. You're going to love this one. You will. Trust me. Okay, my guest in the studio is Frances Udukwu. Correct? Did I get that?
Hi, Wisdom.
Hi.
Yes. Correct.
Frances
Udukwu.
Yes, Frances is Business Advisory Associate All On. Yes, you heard that.
All On's in the building.
Yeah, we are in the building. Okay, and then Adamu Garba, Senior Business Venture. No, I've been corrected that it has changed. It's my Ogao.
I forgive you.
So Wahala will not stay. Will not happen. Okay, Adamu Garba is Head of Business Development at the Nigerian Climate Innovation Center.
Thank you, Wisdom. I'm super fine.
Welcome, Adamu. What shakara for you? Accepted. All right, how you doing today, Adamu?
I'm pretty good.
Wow, it's the first time having you in the studio, right?
Yes, it is. Nigeria Info.
Yeah. No, Nigeria Info.
Sorry, Nigeria Info. You made a mistake, while, getting my designation right. So I think that's 1-1.
Nice
very good. Each time I talk to NCIC, that's Nigeria Climate Innovation Center, it's always Bankole. So today I'm happy to have you in the studio.
Yeah, likewise. I'm happy to be here as well. I'm excited to be here.
We'd like to meet you. Tell us a little bit about your job, what you do as Head of Business Development, and tell us a little bit about NCIC.
Okay, let me begin by talking about NCIC. So we were established in 2018 as a product of the World Bank's Climate Technology Program to drive green growth in Nigeria. We are also supported by the Office of the Vice President of Nigeria. Basically, we do this by working very closely with the innovative community in the climate space who play around our thematic areas of focus, which are renewable energy, waste management, or circularity, smart agriculture, and innovations around water, and anything green. For me, what I do is to basically nurture ventures, mentor and coach them as well, and also identify what I'll call talented creative entrepreneurs, so that we can drive their potentials through the partnerships, through the support that we get from partners like All On, for example.
I like that. I like how you ended it with All On. Okay, so how has it been since 2018 running this and running the center and all of that? How has it been since 2018?
I must tell you, it's a journey I would like to live over and over and over again. We have an extraordinary relationship with All On. They have been with us since the establishment of the organization. We've been driving green growth together, especially through support early stage ventures in the renewable energy space.
Mm.
So it's been an amazing experience, and the impact is so obvious that we have seen these businesses grow from just simple ideas to actual real businesses. So we're happy to say we are creating trailblazers in the Nigerian clean tech space.
Sure thing, and I can confirm that too.
Supported by all, and of course.
Of course. If you don't add that, there will be problem. All right. So, but before I move to Francis, now tell us about some of that program or some of your programs at NCIC, just for the knowledge of listeners who are listening to this for the first time. What are some of the programs you run at the NCIC?
Super. So we also gravitated towards other parts of the green space, especially waste management, which is a global topical issue. At the moment, we're working with the Coca-Cola Foundation to scale plastic waste collection, PET to be specific. So we're doing this as a pilot in 6 states, and we have so far collected close to about 1,000 tons, and we would run this program for 2 years, and we're working with commercial-based aggregators in 6 of these states: the FCT, Yola, Kano, Benin, and Adamu. I've said Yola, and which other state is that? Okay, I think we're still working on the other 2 states, but let's leave it as that. Yeah.
Great one. Nice work you guys are doing, and I can confirm that. I have more questions for you, but I'll come back as we go on. So we talk about other things, especially funding early stage startups in the space. Right. Let me come to Francis now. Hi, Francis.
Hi, Wisdom. Happy to be here.
Yes, and yesterday was Francis' birthday, guys. Congratulations.
You.
We don't get you more often on the radio, but so today we have you. I have a lot of questions I want to ask you on behalf of the listeners.
Sure, shoot, I'm ready.
All right. So Francis is Business Advisory Associate at All On, most specifically at the All On Hub. Francis, you want to talk to us about what the All On Hub is? What happens there? I get maybe we're not talking
in the All On Hub. And I'm responsible for programmatic and strategic support for energy entrepreneurs from early to growth stages of business. Now, in terms of what the hub does within All On is as part of our goal as a firm to close the significant gap in terms of access to energy. The hub was created in support of the Rockefeller Foundation to provide non-financial support and build capabilities of businesses within the ideation, angel, growth, and market entry stages of business. So today you'd be hearing from one of our partners within the ideation framework or stage of business, NCIC, and more of what we've done through that partnership with helping scale up businesses from just an idea to proof of concept. Short in idea to proof of concept.
Now, we want to talk through the partnership with the NCIC, and what was the strategy or the idea behind setting up the incubation program in the first place in partnership with NCIC? Walk us through that, please.
So in partnership with NCIC, we are running, or we run a 6-month incubation program where energy entrepreneurs essentially bring an idea or a concept after participating in what we actually consider a rigorous application process. And after being accepted as a participant, they partake in an incubation program that lasts over the course of 6 months, where they receive insight on various topics of business. So business development, how to build a dynamic team, how to essentially get to the place of prototyping, and so on and so forth. So many of the pain points that businesses at very early stages need guidance on, this 6-month incubation program covers that. And it's a sense of mentorship and a sense of facilitation with various industry leaders. Then at the end of the 6-month incubation program, there's an opportunity to demo the concept that they've essentially refined over the course of the 6 months. And after participating in the incubation program and taking part in the demo day, which is taking place, the next one is taking place this week on the 27th of this month, the entities or the entrepreneurs have the opportunity to receive 10,000 USD to help move their concept from just an idea to an actual MVP or prototype that they can eventually build and make viable.
Lovely. We're going to unpack all you have said shortly. I mean,
Sure.
you've put a lot into one response. But Adamu, let me come to you now. She mentioned some of the things that happened during the incubation program, but I want you to walk us through the curriculum. What happens really in this 6 months? It's such a long time. What these businesses do within this period of the incubation?
Yeah, so it's interesting to note that when we started the program in 2020, I think after the first physical session, COVID hit, and then we went virtual. So in response to COVID, since 2020, we've been running this incubation program up until now on a virtual structure.
Okay.
And yes, it's 6 months, but it's not like a daily virtual session. So we kind of spread these sessions in a very accommodative way that will not put too much pressure on the entrepreneurs, because we want to believe that aside from the incubation program they're running with NCIC in partnership with All they also have other things they're doing, also working on their ideas. So there's that liberty of time to walk through what they're doing and the incubation program as well. In terms of the courses or
the courses
or the models, I know Francis has touched a bit in it. So we usually begin with very light courses that gets us to engage them better in terms of understanding them and how they walk through their innovative ideas, from converting just basic ideas into actual product. We very much coach them on business more financial modeling, which is very key to them. The cliche most common phrase of every entrepreneur, whether in the RE space or not, is access to finance, but we try to gravitate their mindset away from that and getting them to understand what exactly their business is all about. Because if you're pitching to me and you don't sound like you're on top of your game, if I have the money, I wouldn't give it to you. So it's not all about access to finance. I think entrepreneurs should be talking about access to knowledge, access to skills.
Aside access to finance, there needs to be access to skill and knowledge.
Absolutely, because I can't give you money if you're not on top of your game. You don't even understand how to do a proper business model or proper financial model to give me a transactional sense of what your business would entail. I'm an investor, right? I want my money back with interest, probably, unless I'm giving you an equity-free grant. But even at that, you would dwindle the money down, and you'll be back to where you were.
I like what you have said, because last week I was at a pitch session. There was money. Just come and tell us what you're going to do. Well, first of all, tell us your business idea, and then what you're going to do with the money. I could see that it's a struggle, and automatically it just reminded me of this incubation program and how it prepares, So typically when an applicant applies for this program, there's always an open application. You apply to join. What have you seen happen from joining the program and then the end of the program when they come out of it, whether they win or not?
So there is a change of mindset. They are better prepared to face the real business world out there. It's so obvious from the way they talk, the quality of the things that they say, and how well they have received each and every course that they've gone through. Because remember, they are being facilitated by some of the best minds in the industry that usually get to coach them through these 6 months. So pretty much from the beginning of the program, we always get them to understand that, listen, you're not going through this program because of $10,000. You're going through this program because we believe you would make tens of millions of dollars in the future. So it's the outcome that matters, not the immediate output. Besides, we're just going to select 8 viable ventures to be awarded $10,000 each. They are not all getting that, so they shouldn't see that as a competition, but see it as a platform where they could be better and sustain their businesses as well.
Okay, Lagos, if you're just joining this conversation, this is Power Solutions. Power Solutions is powered by All On Energy Impact Investment Company in partnership with your number one talk station, Nigeria, info. And we've been talking about funding early stage startups in renewables. And my guests in the studio, Francis Udukwu and Adamu Garba, have been speaking to me about what is happening within the space and how they've been able to manage funding with the incubation program run by NCIC in partnership with All On. Francis is Business Advisory Associate at All On, and Adamu is Head of Business Development at NCIC. NCIC is Nigeria Climate Innovation Center. All right, Lagos, you can join the conversation. Please call me. We want to hear from you, most especially if you are a business owner running a business within the renewables or off-grid energy space. You can join the conversation. Please call me 0700 993 993 993. Please call me. We would like to hear from you. Last week when we talked about something similar to this, many of you called and said, "Oh, why is it only women? They are giving money." Now there's money for everybody. So call me and let's talk about how you can also be part of this that is happening with NCIC and All On. Okay. While we wait for the calls to come in, I want to go to Francis now. How were the applicants selected? Now, so we understand over 290 people applied at the initial phase to join the program, and after that 17 of them, oh, wow, that's a lot, okay, 17 of them were picked from 290 to join the incubation program. You want to walk us through that process? What happens? How that selection happen?
Sure. I'll touch a bit on it and then turn it over to Adamu, who can flesh out the evaluation process.
Okay.
But just based on our partnership, there was an agreement in terms of what the evaluation would pertain. So, for instance, aside from submitting a complete application, we are looking to see that your concept is indeed an idea. So it's not a business that has any traction at all.
Okay.
Meaning you haven't brought in any form of revenue or profit.
Okay.
We're also looking that even if you don't have a full-on team, that there is at least a founder and a co-founder that can speak to the proposed viability of the concept. We also look at during the application process whether the business will eventually, if funded and if scaled, will translate into some form of turning on power or light for communities and for individuals, which translates to positively affecting livelihoods. We also look at the number of jobs that the businesses can eventually output once they are up and running. So there are various criterion when it comes to the evaluation process of the application.
Okay.
But more importantly, we want to understand that you can properly explain on paper why this concept is worth growing, and what the expected outcome is in translation to closing the energy access gap.
Beautiful. And why you try to add to that, I understand about $160,000 USD has gone through this incubation program.
Absolutely.
From cohort 1 since 2020 to date.
Absolutely.
Why you try to answer that question I asked Francis, you want to also tell us any success story from this program that NCIC is proud of?
Oh yes. So as I said earlier during my intro, we have seen entrepreneurs come into this program with just simple ideas, and we never knew that they would get to where they are today. One notable example will be Dozier, for example. Dozier Aguilo is the founder of Quadloop.
Quadloop. Let's get it for Quadloop. I know him. All right.
I feel jealous. I feel like being Quadloop right now. But I know it's okay. So Quadloop has a very interesting business model. So he's circular on one side, and he is, RE, oriented on the other side. So he uses, recycled plastic products to, create the frame of his solar lamp. While, of course, on the other hand, there's a mini solar panel attached to, the actual product, which, allows you to light up your household. And, he has, kept on improving, this product from just an MVP to an actual product. I actually have his product at home. And,
wow.
Of course. I mean, so I am a beneficiary of Quadloop. So imagine someone who has come to you with an idea, and an application, and through this rigorous,
application process.
Exactly, he got in, and you've run him through a 6 months incubation program, and today he is in the market competing, commercially with other players.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you wish for? It means the program is working. Yeah. We also have Dalsman Tech from last cohort.
Dalsman Tech. Yeah.
But Dalsman Tech, he's gone international, man. He's not local. He's international.
Trying to get that guy on this show. Dalsman Tech.
Yeah, he's in the UAE. He's signing contracts. Signing agreements.
Was that the guy that had the kiosk?
Yes.
The kiosk. The solar powered kiosk.
Exactly.
And he was representing the northern region.
Yes, northern regions. I think in Kaduna and Jigawa and some other northern states. We're very happy with what he's doing. So I mean, this program isn't just a one-off program. For buzz sake or for media's sake. I mean, it is a program that is actually birthed amazing entrepreneurs who we believe that in the future will really create.
With focus of time, I want to ask you, what are the women in all of this? Is this program also intentional about making sure the women are also participating? Tell us briefly.
Okay, yeah, the truth is a very bitter pill to chew, but the thing is, we really want women to participate, but participation is also a subject of the quality of the applications that are coming in.
Okay.
All right, so we always do encourage women to apply. It's a very inclusive program. It doesn't matter where you're from, what gender you belong to, but we would in the future hopefully have an all-exclusive women energy or green program to encourage more of them to apply to most of our programs. Thank you.
All right, Lagos, this is Power Solutions. If you're just joining the conversation, Power Solutions is powered by Allon Energy Impact Investment Company. And then we have been discussing funding early stage startups. Yeah. You can join the conversation to Lagos. Please call me 0700 993 993 993. I want to hear from you too before we wrap up for the show today. Now, Frances, something is happening on Thursday, the 27th of October. And we hear it's called the Demo Day.
Yes.
What is happening typically on that day? We hear at the end of the day, some people walk away with $10,000.
Indeed.
That's the one I like the most. But tell us what's happening on that day with this Demo Day.
So I alluded to it previously,
yes,
but I'll speak more. So on this Thursday, which is the 27th of this month, we will be concluding the 6-month incubation program for year 3. So this is our third year in partnership with NCIC, and we're giving the participants who have participated in the incubation program successfully the opportunity to pitch their concepts. And essentially each entity gets about, I believe, 6 minutes to pitch, and there are a panel of judges inclusive of past grantees, as well as several other industry leaders and energy entrepreneurs in the space that have great that have shown great traction and are of course in affiliation with Allon. And they will be judging the entire demo day or essentially seeking to see what 8 businesses are viable enough or concepts are viable enough to receive the 10,000 USD. So it's going to be an exciting time. We're flying in several participants who don't reside here in Lagos. So everyone's ready to pitch. Everyone's ready. Like Adamu mentioned, it's not a competition, but it's an opportunity to essentially show that indeed in these six months I have acquired enough skill and knowledge to understand what it means or what it takes to build a viable business. And then it's also a great opportunity just to see within our ecosystem young entrepreneurs tackling real issues and real problems here in Nigeria. So we will be live on YouTube. We'll also be live on Zoom. And the links can be seen or received on our all social media platforms, both for NCIC and all.
Let's take this call quickly. Hello, sure. Good morning. Welcome to Power Solutions.
Hi, good morning. Sorry. I was wondering if this is the phone number to call to speak to someone on Nigeria Info.
Yeah, this is Nigeria Info. Yeah, this is Nigeria Info. Power Solutions program.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to me.
All right. Sorry. So my name is Asai Indam. I'm calling from the Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development. We're doing an advocacy campaign for repressive laws against journalists, and we would like to come on the radio to speak for 30 minutes. So can we set up an interview on this line, please?
All right, please. You may need to call back or just send us a message, a DM on social media. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that. So Thursday, the demo day will happen, and it will be for the pitching to display, all the ideas and all the training they've gone through the incubation program, and 8 of these businesses will walk away with 10,000 USD. Wow.
Not that day, in case anybody.
But at least they're going to get it that day. Just it might not. Okay, we can't talk when it's going to come, but Adamu, what do you expect on that day?
Everything Francis said.
Adamu. Oh no. All right, guys. So how can people join this pitch session just to listen in or maybe to be part of it? People who have time on Thursday to be part of it, how can they join this?
So there are links to hop on.
Okay.
So that would be on all on socials and NCIC socials as well at Nigeria CIC.
Okay.
There's going to be a live streaming avenue for you to hop on the program and enjoy the activities of the program virtually.
Yeah. Before we run up.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning. This is Power Solutions. Talk to me. We lost that. Okay, so there are links where people can watch virtually just to be part of the conversation.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, you can find that link if you're listening on the Instagram handle of NCIC. It's Nigeria CIC on Instagram, and you can also follow All On Instagram at All On Energy. If you're the LinkedIn person, find us on LinkedIn, All On LinkedIn, and Nigeria Climate Innovation Center on LinkedIn. Same handles on Twitter and Facebook. Find us and be part of that conversation. Come and join this conversation of new ideas coming to solve Nigeria's biggest power problem. My name is Wisdom. This is Power Solutions. You have been listening, and it's been exciting talking to you. Until next week, when we come again with another interesting episode. Adamu and Frances, thank you so much for your time on the show.
Thank you for having us.
We look forward to a successful and eventful 27th of October, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Until then, again, thank you so much, guys. The news is up next.